I'm gonna start our tour off tonight with the platform. It's a new platform this year than the past two virtual family gatherings we've had. So I wanted to just go through it and point out some helpful tips for people. The first thing is this login page. And so you'll see that we have your first name, last name, and email address. And I do just want to note that these must match the first name, last name, and email address you use to register. And so just if you're having any issues with this, maybe go back and check your email for your registration confirmation. So that you can see, what email you registered with there, or if you maybe misspelled your name wrong when you were registering, that might help you kind of troubleshoot any issues you get here. But if you have any trouble that you're not able to resolve, please feel free to reach out to the contact email that is in the emails you'll be getting over the next couple of days. So every morning you'll get an email with the login link, and underneath that login link, there's an email and a phone number you can call for support if you're having any issues. So yeah, you're going to go ahead and hit next. And then one thing that I wanted to point out is that this year there is a sort of heightened security feature so that you do need a verification code. So this code will be sent to you via text message if you included your mobile phone number when you registered. It will also come to the email address that you used to register. So if you're not getting a text, just give it a minute, go back, check your email, and you'll be able to find it there. And of course, I had an issue logging in. Again. Might have been because I was sitting here for a while. Okay. There we go. So the first thing I want to point out after you've logged in, one thing that may cause some confusion for people that's just really helpful to sort of sort out right out of the bat is to visit your profile. So under your profile, you can, of course, view your profile where you can update things like your name, if those are spelled incorrectly, or if there's anything you want to add to that. You can also update sort of like privacy settings about if you're visible on the attendee list. But some of the really helpful things are going to be under this language and notification. So we did translate the event website into 2 additional languages, Portuguese, Brazilian, and Spanish. So please, if you are a non-English speaking attendee and you speak one of those 2 languages, go here and toggle your language. It may automatically detect based on your browser what language you use. So you might not have to do this, but if it hasn't detected that, there's an issue, then please go here. You can do that manually. And you can also adjust your time zone. So our event agenda defaults online on the IFOPA website to Eastern time zone, but the agenda here can be personalized to your time zone. So you can just click My Device Time Zone and it will be able to identify the time zone your computer is in. So those were sort of the first things I wanted to point out here in that profile. And then just to kind of go through our navigation, starting on the homepage, you'll see we have some really wonderful videos from our visionary sponsors here. We have our program guide, and then a recording of this tour will be available here. And then there's also just some helpful reminders of upcoming sessions, things that are happening right now. So if you're logging in the middle of the day and you're a little, lost track of the agenda, you can just look here and it'll tell you what's going on right now. And then I'm going to move on to the sessions tab. So this is where you'll access a lot of, or all of the content, the general session and small group discussion content throughout the weekend. So you can see here that it's sorted by days. So on Saturday, when the family gathering starts, you'll come here and you'll select the session. I'm going to select this one for example's sake. And when the session is live, you will have an opportunity. There'll be a join session button right around here. So you'll click that join session button and that will bring you into the webcast or the presentation. But this sort of tab or column on the right is going to stay the same. And this column is really important you familiarize yourself with because it is where you'll be able to interact and it has some helpful translation support. So the chat, which isn't open yet, it will be opening once the event starts, is just a fun way for you to interact with other attendees. I know that if we were in person, we would all be having conversations, you know, at the start of sessions or during breaks. So there's a few more places I'll point out where you can connect, but this is certainly one of them. When you join a session, feel free to say hello, introduce yourself, and join in the chat here. This Q&A tab, mine looks a little bit different than some of yours as a moderator, but here is where you will submit your questions to our presenters. And it's really important because the chat, we hope, will be very full, and it could be hard for us as our moderators to be able to sort through questions there. So please do use this Q&A feature for any questions you have. We don't intend, I don't think you'll have a lot of polls throughout the weekend, so you may not use that one a whole lot, but we do hope you'll take the survey after, I think within 20 minutes of the end of each session, this survey button will go live. So you won't be able to access it right when the session starts, but if you're waiting until sort of the last half hour, the 20 minutes the session's beginning to wrap up, you'll be able to click here to take a survey and share your feedback on that session. And then these two buttons here are our translation support. So Wordly is a button that you will see in every session. We have Wordly in every general session. And then we also offer Wordly on our small group discussion session on Sunday. That is being led by Laura Rossano on college and careers. As well as our unseen caregiver documentary viewing. So this Wordly resource will be available in both of those sessions as well, but it will be in every general session. And so to use Wordly, similar to those of you who've used Wordly through Zoom, you'll actually just come here and select your language, and then the language will start updating. The text here will update for that. And if you would like to use, if you're someone who also likes to listen to the voice of the artificial intelligence, you're going to want to unmute this so that you can hear and read that. And when you unmute this, it will automatically mute the audio coming from that presentation or that session. And then Kudo is another translation. This is our live professional translation. This is being offered for 4 sessions throughout the weekend. It is Dr. Kaplan's annual research update, the common health questions for FOP medical experts on day 1, the FOP clinical trials and studies session on day 1, and then the oral health treatments and implications session being offered on day 2. So you'll see this Kudo button or tab and those, and you'll be able to select for some of them we are offering only Spanish, and for some of them we are offering Spanish and Portuguese. So you'll be able to select the languages that we're offering there. And this information on what sessions are being offered in what languages is also in our program guide. So be sure to check out the program guide if you haven't already for more helpful information about translation support. Because the Kudo, Wordly, and then the website being translated are the 3 main ways that will be helping our non-English speaking attendees to engage. A few other things that I wanted to point out about the session are that some of the sessions, the general session presentations, may already be included, as you can see here, included on your more personal session schedule, but you also have the opportunity to add sessions. So if you see here our self-care and resilience session and you're really interested in that and you click add, it is going to add it to your My schedule, which you can see here kind of shows up in your top navigation bar. And that's just a helpful reminder of the sessions that you are intending or really excited to participate in. And so if you want to go through and make sure that you've selected your appropriate small group discussion session, if you're a community member, you should be able to see all of these and you can add or select your appropriate one. If you're not a community member, if you are one of our biotech, pharma, or other corporate entities, academic researchers, or a speaker or staff, you will likely not have access to these because you're not eligible to participate in them. But one thing I do want to point out about adding these sessions that's really important is that we will be sending notifications out throughout the weekend, like helpful reminders to say this session starts in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And if you have not added a session to your schedule, you will not receive those notifications. So if you want to make sure that you get reminders as you're kind of exploring and navigating the website, please do make sure you go through and add sessions to your schedule. Okay, I think that is it for the session. So we're going to move on now to the community tab. You can see here the first thing we have, which I'm really excited. We have not had this feature in the last 2 years, and I think it's just an interesting and helpful way for people to kind of get a sense of who's joining us over the weekend. We have an attendee list. So everyone who has marked that it's okay for their name to be visible is listed here in our attendee list. And so it's a really good way to kind of explore other people you might want to interact with. The one feature that you can do within the attendee list is schedule an appointment. I do want to call out that the schedule an appointment is not as obvious on when someone requests to schedule an appointment for you. So if I was reaching out to Karen to schedule an appointment, she wouldn't get a pop-up or a notification. It actually just shows up in her schedule here that someone has reached out to her and tried to schedule an appointment. So you can see here, like I sent a request to Karen to say, let's Zoom, let's connect. And the only way she can see that is through looking at my schedule page here. So what I would recommend is that if you do want to connect with one of the many attendees we have joining us, that you would just go through the messaging first. And if you see someone is at the event who you'd like to connect with, you can go ahead and send them a message, new message, and then you can search by their name, which you'll have seen in that attendee list, and send them a message to say, hey, let's connect, maybe set the time that works for you. And then once you have scheduled that time, you'll be able to go in here, or kind of designated that time, you'll be able to go in here and schedule an appointment. And when you schedule an appointment with someone, it is going to give you access to a virtual Zoom room. So those appointments are virtual video conferences, just like we're on now, and a great opportunity for you to kind of go beyond the chat that we have in sessions and connect with people more face-to-face. Another opportunity for you to make those face-to-face connections is through our community chats. So these community chats are another new feature this year, and we're excited to be offering them at 2 different times throughout the weekend. So at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday and on Sunday, we'll be offering 2 chats. You can see here, the first 2 are self-advocacy and advocating for others and wheelchair safety and precautions. And then the 2 being offered on Sunday are maintaining social connections and family gathering, survey, and feedback discussions. So those are not open yet, but I have created a chat just to sort of demonstrate for all of you how this works. So when you do join those chats, it's going to look like this, and you can see that each chat room has up to 6 spaces. So you can go ahead and either join one that has a few people in it, or there may be one chat that is completely filled up. And if the first room in that chat has filled up, a new room will open up. So you may see another box here with additional spots that you can click to join. But what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and click, and these are video chats again. So you will have the option to see and hear from one another. And Taking just a minute there. My camera does not work because I'm on Zoom, which is using my camera, but you'll see here that it allows you to check your camera and your microphone settings. So if you want to select a different microphone, you can do that, and then you'll be able to join. And you can see that it's really similar to the Zoom platform that we've all become so familiar with throughout COVID. So this, again, you can have up to 6 people here, and it's an opportunity for you to have more informal discussions and conversations throughout the weekend. And then the last feature that I wanted to share with everyone, and I know we have some competitive community members who always enjoy this aspect of the event, is our gamification, or our family gathering game. So this is a way for you to earn points for engaging in different ways throughout the weekend. And you can click on each of these different tasks to find out, how you earn those points. There will be a leaderboard here, and similar to last year, we will be awarding prizes to the top 5 players on our leaderboard. And that cutoff is Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll announce those winners during, or 5:30 p.m. Central time, so 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And we will announce those winners during our Share Your Strength Talent Show, which is at 7 p.m. that evening. So moving on, I wanted to highlight our exhibitors. So we have several different areas where you can explore different resources. One of them is our IFOPA resources, our national organization friends, some additional resources, and then sponsors. So as you join, you can click on the category to view the different resources available there, and then click on each program to view more. And then you'll see that we do have a chat feature here. So this isn't open yet because the event hasn't started, but 24 hours before the event opens, and then throughout the event at designated times, you'll be able to come in here, explore, and chat with our exhibit booth staff. And you can also request to meet with them in those similar Zoom-like rooms that we had in community chats through this feature, which will be open once our event starts. We do have a few other things here, some frequently asked questions. That's a resource that is in our program guide, and I would encourage you all to take a look at, and then some helpful information about the IFOPA. But that is sort of the tour part of the Ready, Set, Success. I did just want to point out a few aspects of our agenda. So first of all, on Saturday and Sunday, we will be offering small group discussion sessions. And if you've attended family gatherings in the past, you know that this is really one of the main ways that our community members are able to have more of that face-to-face engagement and interaction. So those are designated for different sort of personas or roles within our community, including mothers, fathers, spouses, siblings, adult men, adult women, and bereaved family members. And then this year, we also have 2 additional language-specific groups that will be hosted for Spanish-speaking attendees and Portuguese-speaking attendees. So I would just encourage you all to, I know there's a lot going on throughout the weekend, that the general sessions have a lot of content and take up a lot of time. And then we have social events and self-care and exhibit time. But just to really carve out time for what it is that you're most excited about, I would say that if you can't attend every general session live, that's okay. All of the sessions will be recorded and available for 90 days after the event has ended. So I do want to note it's a little shorter than what we experienced with our previous platform, but you still have 3 months to go back and rewatch any of those general sessions. But those small group discussion sessions are not recorded, and they are sort of a one and done opportunity to make those connections on Saturday. On Sunday, we'll be offering 3 different small group discussion sessions. They are, as I mentioned, Laura Rossano's session on college and pursuing a career or a vocation, a session that Karen will be co-leading with students from the Thomas Jefferson Will Project, where they'll be looking to connect with members of our community to learn how they can design tools to better support individuals with FOP. And then lastly, one that I'm really excited about will be doing a screening of the Unseen Caregiver documentary. So that movie is about 45, or that documentary is about 45 minutes long, and then we'll have still another 45, half of that time for Q&A or for discussion, I guess, among attendees afterwards. So again, those sessions, Laura's will be recorded, but the other two are sort of a one and done opportunity. And I would just encourage you to, if that interaction is important for you, to take part in those.